for this part of the port, for the Logent area, and that's a brand new one. And when they enter there, and when they enter, and when they, it's okay, no? No, you hear me, okay, because I had the radio running in the back. And when they enter there through that gate, then they have an ocular checking, and it's going to be a photo frame in the future. What you see to your left and right, brand new cars coming from somewhere far away, entering the port on the car carrier. There isn't one at the quayside at the moment. But when these cars, like the Opel or Ford or Nissan or Land Rover or other brands, when they enter here, then they are driven off the boat from the car carrier by the help of special drivers, and they are specially trained, and I'll come back to that in a moment. And then they are parked here, and before leaving the premises there will be a PDI. You sit fairly high. If you look to your right, across the trailers there, you can see a bluish building, and that's a PDI where they get things adjusted that has to be there for the Swedish roads and Swedish measurements. A warning triangle, for example, could be put in the car there. Those are all sedan cars, normal smaller cars here, and then we have the Volvo trucks and dumpers and all of it. On the left hand side, they are not built in Gothenburg. The Volvo factory is here, but not for these kinds of vehicles. So they come on lorries down to Gothenburg, and up front you could see what the destination is. Borås they are built, or Arvika. So it differs there. And when the drivers drive one of those on board the big car carriers, they are never ever allowed to reverse, go backwards, except for if there is someone up back to tell them the way, because it's quite dangerous to reverse with one of those. They are so huge you can't see if anyone is walking around. The building to your right, that's where the cars are delivered by train. We have daily departures here by train up to the Stockholm area. And this year, so far, about 50,000 cars have been handled here in the area, in the premises of Logent. So brand new ones, and then a few odd old American ones. But my favorites are definitely the ones on your right here. I do love them because you can't see what color they are. It's all this big Christmas surprise, isn't it, when they are delivered? Well, there are a few black ones because they have opened up the door. Anyone or any car standing here doesn't, of course, want to have anything from up above, some dirt from a bird or so, seagulls above all. So we haven't got a single seagull here. They are forbidden. We just say that, no seagulls. That's a good idea, isn't it? And do you know what we have done? We have, or they have, recorded the sound of a seagull that they have killed, neck off, and it screamed. And this screaming sound goes out about once every minute in big loudspeakers, and all the seagulls, they are frightened and they go away. So that's a good thing, isn't it? Something to bring back home, possibly to your boat or summer house. Very few boats we saw today. It's December now, 1st of December today, but coming up January, February, then we have quite a few boats, pleasure boats coming all the way, most of them from the States. So you have to come back to watch those yachts. Another. On the left hand side we have a very special kind of cover on the ground, what we call the help me now, density fault. Yes, it's a combination of concrete and asphalt, because those heavy containers that you see on your left hand side, those can't stand just on the asphalt, then it would sink down. And here they stack the containers, three of them right up high there, and of course there are the conchamps that range them around here. lift them. And they are to be delivered and to be taken onto the ship that we have on our left hand side, which later today will leave for Zeebrugge in Belgium, and that is a voyage of about 36 hours, and we have 5 daily departures on those ships. We have 5 different ships, and from Zeebrugge then you have the whole of the train net covering, in fact, the whole of Europe then. Adeline is one, Celestine is another one, but today we have Adeline here, and she's at home in Antwerp. CLDN, that's the shipping company. So this is brand new, that we from Logent then ship containers and also trailers down to Europe, to Zeebrugge. What you see on your right hand side are new cars having arrived, and also a few Volvo cars a little bit further up. And for those of you sitting on your right hand side in the coach, you can see that there is a towing eye up front on the Volvo cars to your right here. Not that they drag them on board that way, but they tie them onto the deck, so they are quite steady there. And again, different marks on the Volvos, a red little dot or a blue little dot or a yellow one, which tells them in which order they're going to be loaded onto the ship. Some of them have their steering wheel on the right hand side, which of course means that they are due to another continent, possibly Australia or New Zealand, or across to Japan. These are then driven on board either the Wallenius Wilhelmsen car carrier, which normally docks to the left here, there isn't one in at the moment, or a Höegh one. And we also, of course, have the ACL, Atlantic Container Line, a combined ro-ro and container ship. And that one is expected to arrive later this afternoon. It's still the premises of Logent on your right-hand side, but they have tenants at the moment. So APM Terminals, which are the other operators here in the Skandia Harbour, Skandia Hamnen, they have rented this piece to put together their brand new container cranes. So they are not delivered directly from a place in China like the previous 3 were, but these ones are actually built on the site here. And we don't know for how long they will be building it, but as soon as they are ready, then they leave the premises here, and then it's the area for Logent. Well, the well-trained driver, they go then on board. If there is a ship coming with new cars from far away, then there are 4 drivers in a little car here, and the driver takes them on board. The 4 drivers dressed in yellow overalls, gloves, and they're not allowed to wear any rings or bracelets or anything. They take each one car, drive them onto the platform, put them there, and then they are picked up by the car again and taken another round. So back and forth it goes. And the other way around if you are going to load cars. And for example, later on this afternoon, when the ACL has docked straight in front of us here, then they will be loading some 40, 50, 100, I don't know how many Volvo cars to go across to the States. I think it might be the ACL on its way in. Is it now, Mikael? No, there's one leaving. It's an oil tanker leaving, I think. So anyway, right over here you see the reddish little box to the left where it says, a little house there, where it says Logent. That's where headquarter, that's the headquarter of Logent to the left, says Peter. Anyway, they are ticked off, and then the boot will be open to check that there is nothing in the boot of the car. And then when they have loaded them all, there is also a check by a dog, just to make sure that nothing unsuitable has come onto the ship or into the ship. The crane we are now driving under, it's number 12. Together with number 11 and 10, these 3 cranes, they arrived here 2006 and are so called Super Post-Panamax cranes. And they can reach over some 23 or even 25 containers standing next to one another, which of course is quite essential tomorrow when the big huge Maersk ship is coming, 400 meters long, having 18,000 containers, or could have 18,000 containers on board, 20-foot ones. And of course they don't unload all of them here, around 2,000 of them. For those of you sitting to your left, you can see that they are reinforcing the quayside here and putting more concrete onto it, fastening a few more polars where you tie the rope or the lines of the ship, of course. And believe it or not, the whole of this premises here under us, some 100 or some 1 meter down, we have loads of old parts of the houses in Gothenburg. Because when they decided to build a harbour here, then they tore down in the 1960s loads of blocks of flats, buildings, and all of it was taken out here.